Lately, I felt overwhelmed, so today I just wanted to use this opportunity to declutter my desk a bit, and there's no root cause problem solving here. There's no fundamental solution to the mess I've made, but at least in trying to tidy up a little bit, I have made some progress in the right direction, and feeling overwhelmed partially by just the sheer amount of material that I've accumulated over the years and that I intend to use in collage, in different repurposing, because I'm really discouraged by the amount of waste that's generated in today's economy, like single-use plastics and stuff that just ends up in a landfill. Like 90% of plastic doesn't get recycled because it can't be, and I'm trying to do my part to not add to the massive dumps in the landfills that's contributing to pollution, but ultimately that's a systemic problem. That's big corporations that are doing most harm, and it's kind of unrealistic for me to place a lot of responsibility on myself as a consumer in this system that I was born into. But I can't help but try to feel at least that I'm doing my part in this kind of complex interplay of environmentalism. But really, I'm just trying to get a hold on my situation in life. I feel kind of in flux. I feel in transition. I feel untethered to some extent, and I really want to become more organized with my physical space, with the actual material conditions on which I live on a day-to-day basis. And while I can recognize that I've made improvements in that department for a pretty sustained length of time by now, there's still so much to do, and I feel like I say this ad nauseum, but I do get frustrated by how long it takes, and part of this is just learning to be patient in the process of organizing and trying not to make the mess worse than it already is. And I'm just, it's hard because life keeps moving, and if I rest for a little bit, it feels like I'm losing ground, or I can't keep up. And of course that's kind of an illusion that is like, it makes sense why I feel that way, but it doesn't really do me much good to feed into that sensation, because that ultimately makes me less productive. But again, the goal isn't necessarily to be productive. It's just to enjoy life, and I think spread positivity and be loving and grateful. And my intent is not to get too philosophical here, but I'm also just kind of like, I have all this stuff and I feel like I'm going to die one day. I'm pretty certain of that, and I want it to be as organized as possible to mitigate the amount of labor that people will have to do when sorting through my stuff. I want it to be kind of intuitive that way, and I feel like if I'm going to do that eventually, I want to do it sooner rather than later, because then I can still reap the benefits of that organizational process while I'm still alive, and I can, in essence, mobilize myself toward a more complete and intuitive sense of like input and output and all that jazz. It's really frustrating though, because it requires a kind of lateral thinking. It requires me to like think of the situation in a way that I haven't thought of it before, which is difficult, and I'm trying to be more receptive to my desires, if that makes sense. I feel like if I actually feel my wants, if I acknowledge my desires and I let myself feel the desire for that, for instance, making art or repurposing material into collage projects, if I really am able to kind of taste it before I actually sink my teeth into the process, I think that's going to be an indispensable motivating force to be able to achieve whatever end goal I have in store. But it's kind of a dance between I need to get enough sleep, I need nutrition, I need daylight, I need exercise, I need money to be able to pay for bills, I need social time, I need rest, and it's really easy to have these desires get suppressed in a kind of mechanism of social reality in which I'm disembodied from myself in a way. I'm getting too philosophical. I'm also not 100% sure why I'm recording this. It's a little bit more difficult to kind of riff on the microphone without having some tangible artwork to point at. It's rather kind of pointless, this video, but I wanted to make something that keeps in the kind of rhythm that I have going with Mondays being a day in which I make art, or at least engage in my art space and record reflections. And I think to that extent I've kind of fulfilled my goal with the creation of this video and uploading it. And I know it's rather meta. I don't really expect anybody to watch this, but this is more so for me. And I think a lot of the videos that I'm making now are more for me than anyone else. I just want to familiarize myself with the process of uploading and publishing content to YouTube before I really worry about getting good at it or targeting a specific demographic or worrying about analytics. I'm right now just want to get going in the process of, as long as I'm making a video, uploading it to YouTube, that's a win. I'm a YouTuber now. Now the question is, if I can keep this up and eventually how can I organize my life in a way that allows me to more effortlessly engage in this process. I want to streamline my ability, not for productivity's sake, but rather so that I'm able to more fully experience the emotion involved in this process, because it is a kind of tender and rich emotionality behind it, but it's also very abstract and digital, and more so just curious about the form itself right now than the content that I'm putting out, which is a bit weird. It's counterintuitive. It's not going to do well algorithmically, but I mean, this is just me trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life. And this seems just as meaningful as many other things that I'm compelled to do on a daily or weekly basis. And it's just a matter of kind of regulating self-care routines, not overdoing it, not overexerting myself, trying to prevent burnout, and just kind of keep the momentum going, even if I don't know exactly what direction I'm headed. I feel like in the long run, this is going to benefit me, and I think I'm just going to keep doing this upload thing because it allows me to get my thoughts out there. It kind of makes me think about what I've uploaded after the fact, which is beneficial, and at least assuming I can actually get better at this in the future, this would be a testament to how my skill on the platform wasn't always as good or polished as it hopefully may appear in the future. This is kind of a stripped back approach, kind of behind the scenes of just like what I'm doing, what my thought process is, and how I might develop from a kind of, I'm doing this for myself, to in the future when I have the means to do so, I'm doing this for a specific audience, or I want to add value to other people's lives. Right now, I'm just trying to get by, and I think that's fair. And I mean, this is my channel, it's my name, I can do what I want, so I'm not going to worry too much about the optics of that, I guess. But yeah, if you have made it all the way through, you're a real one. I will not upload next week, Monday, because I'll be out of town and I won't really have access to the internet. But I should be back the Monday after that. I'm going to enjoy my week off and use this as just something to think about. So yeah, thanks for watching, or thanks for listening. I know I'll probably listen to this back at some point, so hey, Luke in the future. This is Luke in the past. Hope you're hydrated, and stay safe out there.